As I was saying, I belong to the Calligraphy Society in the Carolinas, and the members are from North and South Carolina, basically. And they had an exhibit on diversity and racial equality. And I decided that I really wanted to participate in that exhibit. So this is the piece that Kai came up with. I looked first for words, and I found Abel Marable's poem that he created in 1937, a Jewish gentleman who was a teacher and a poet, and he wrote these words and later put them to music. In 1939, Billie Holiday sang this song, and it was a great hit at the time, but it is beautiful words and harsh words at the same time. I hope you would all get a chance to read them. When I did this piece, I wanted it to be stark and bold and wild. And actually, I did it on canvas, which I usually work on watercolor paper because I do watercolors and the calligraphy. I did not want it enclosed in a frame, so I put it on this piece of canvas. I chose the picture of Billie Holiday from her album to put as the main song singer on this, and I chose the words to go above her head as all of these wonderful souls were rising to heaven as they had been murdered. I'd like to thank all of you for coming and seeing this presentation. It means a lot to me to see all of you here. I'd like to especially thank Frankie McWhorter because I came. What had happened was this was hanging in the gallery, and then they took it down to go with the Carolina group. Right after that, COVID happened, so nobody was having meetings or anything like this. So this was actually almost lost to me. I had forgotten about it. One day, I looked in the... Don't do that, Chuck. I looked in the mail, and I had this box in there, a small skinny box that I had wrapped this up in, and I opened it up and I saw the piece, and I thought, oh, how wonderful, I have it back again. We were going to John and Frankie's house to visit with them, and I wanted to bring the piece to show them. Because of Frankie's tenacity, she introduced this to many people around the area. Originally, it was only the piece on the canvas. When I got in touch with Laura, I decided to have it somehow a little bit easier to hang. So I went to a metal artist and I asked him to create a branch. Reading the poem, you understand why. And he created this beautiful branch that I was able to get this piece hung on. And that's the whole story about it. Thank you all for coming. A special thank you to Frankie and to Laura for coming to me and asking me about it. That's basically when I read the poem I read the poem originally, and it sparked such a desire in me to do it. And like I said, it was something completely different than I usually do. I usually do pieces on watercolor paper and have them framed. This, I spoke to me as not having to have it framed. It needed to be hung and seen by itself. And it also needed to be very dramatic. The words on it were, like I said, the bodies rising to heaven. However, it's a little difficult to read that way, and I asked Laura if she would print it out for me, because I had sent her the words actually, and she's going to print it out and hopefully put it next to it so people can all read, and if some of the people hadn't seen those words before. But it's a very, very powerful poem.
Well, I thought I'd read it now, because Frankie and Sarah had asked me to make sure we read the words.
Okay.
And we've been playing the words on this computer over here, and we're gonna, after the presentation, we'll start it again, start going again, so that you can hear it. But this poem was written by Abel Meeropol, and it's southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth. Scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh, and the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for a tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crop.
It's very strong.
Was there a modern remake?
Written by Abel Meeropol, really captured the images of lynching in America. To the younger generation that's here, society might let you think that lynchings were just hanging someone from a tree. But Billie Holiday, Abel Meeropol really, through their imagery, told you what happened. It wasn't just hanging someone from a tree. There were castrations. They were burning of bodies. And in some places, it was an event where the whole entire community would come to see the lynching.
A picnic.
After church, on a Sunday, after hearing the good word, they would have a lynching. Can you imagine being a young person, having to see someone dangling from a tree, castrated, burned? That was the imagery. We need to never forget that. And this art, thank you so much, because art enables us to reconnect with the past, the present, and give us a focus to the future.